He goes on Colbert, which is on a rival network, CBS, and look at this.
Now you're being sued for defamation. Why?
Because of an interview like that. I was interviewing a congresswoman named Nancy Mace, who used to be highly critical.
My hometown, Charleston, South
Carolina, of Donald Trump. And she was famously started her political career in a state house when she was in the state house talking about being a victim of rape. Mm-hmm. And so I asked her how she could be, as a victim of rape, how could she support someone who a jury has found liable for rape? Trump sued me because I used the word rape, even though a judge said that's in fact what did happen. And in fact, we filed the motion to dismiss last week. But she's now fallen on, and she tried to say that I was the problem for asking the question rather than he being the problem because a jury found him liable for defamation and sexual abuse.
Okay, so what's so galling about that, Eliana, is, as you well know, when you're involved in litigation, you know, like if I get involved in litigation, I would never make a comment out about it publicly because it's stupid. It's estupido. You don't do it because it can come back to haunt you. And it was absolutely foolish for him to go. But you know why he did? He knows that. For sure the ABC lawyers told him that. He had swagger around this. He was like, I know I'm only 4'2", but I'm going to take down the president. F you, big man. I'm George Stephanopoulos. He's got the Napoleon complex, and he felt the need to try to act like a tough guy.
Well, that's where the malice comes in, where not only have you been apprised that you made a factual error that impugns somebody's character by saying a falsehood about them on national television, you then go and repeat it and dig your heels in once again on national television. And so that, I think, is actually pretty good grounds for showing malice, where you say, not only did I do it the first time, but I was right. I was right. No apologies. Because the pretty easy way to get out of these things is to do what ABC News has now done, where you put a correction up and say, we regret the error. But that is not the attitude that George Stephanopoulos took in the Stephen Colbert interview after the litigation had been filed.
They could have avoided this whole thing if the very next week on his show, he went out and said, I would like to apologize to President Trump.
Totally.
He stated the following things. Those things were not true. This is what I should have said. That's it. That shows a potential jury or judge you didn't have actual malice in your heart. You did your best to correct the record. It doesn't necessarily totally exonerate you, but as a practical matter, it does. And instead, you had him out there, again, little Napoleon, trying to show how tough he was because, you know, he obviously had something to prove. Oh, and by the way, so he made their comments in March. In May, he goes on Colbert. In July, ABC News's motion to dismiss this case was denied. They tried to get it dismissed on the papers, and the judge said no. They have stated a claim. This can be seen through to discovery. So that was July. Hello, folks. We're knocking on the door of Christmas and Hanukkah right now. So we're in December. So if once they lost the motion to dismiss, they easily could have settled it then. You know, we know what comes next. Discovery, we got to turn over our texts, our documents. We are definitely going to have to give George over. They knew that. Producers on the show are going to have to give an over for deposition. Then we're going to have motion practice and possibly a trial. So they didn't even let it get, they let it go through. I assume they had discovery where papers were exchanged. They would have had to in order to have George's deposition ordered. You can't take somebody's deposition without having seen any of the papers or the texts or anything behind it. And that I assume that happened, and now he was about to have to sit. I really think something about George sitting was what made them fold, because it's not unprecedented for talent to have to sit. You know, we saw it at Fox News that the Murdoch sat. In the Fox News Dominion case, Rupert Murdoch sat. Not all the talent sat, but talent have sat in these lawsuits. Jake Tapper, you point out, he sat. But yep. George Stephanopoulos would not sit. And there's a reason for that, my friend. Meantime, Emily, here is a taste of the media meltdown around this as they're getting the vapors over any sort of white flag being waved at Donald Trump. SOT 24.
But it seems to me that there's a lot of this bending the knee going on. I mean, to me, it seems this is a time for our industry to stand firm, because Trump is not going to change his ways when he gets back in the Oval Office. He's going to continue to say things that need to be fact-checked. And you can't have the news industry worrying about this sort of stuff when they're just simply doing their jobs.
Well, if some bend the knee, others have to stand up straighter. You know, the former Time magazine editor, Richard Stengel, said this morning, Trump has sued dozens of publications and media outlets in the past, trying to, quote, intimidate the press into self-censorship, not to actually win any particular case. He did win in this case with a big payment, but that broader concern about self-censorship is one that I know many viewers and readers are worried about. And ultimately, that's Jim, right, as you know, we work for them. We work for the viewers.
Okay, first of all, if George Stephanopoulos bent the knee, we'd be looking at a Lilliputian. I'm like, where'd George go? What happened to You have to stand up straighter. Even straighter. Get straighter. We have to go super tall. Emily, now that ABC News is caved, the rest of us have to be even mightier to stand up against the giant. No acknowledgement. They did the wrong thing. Why don't they just get a lawyer before they have these discussions to advise them?
Well, here's what's infuriating is like, these are the defenders of capital T truth, right? I mean, first of all, does Jim Acosta not realize that his network settled with Nicholas Sandmann in another very, very serious defamation case? So I guess they bent the knee in that one. So maybe his moral credibility is also in question. But secondly, these are the guardians of capital T truth. CNN ran those famous ads during the Trump administration about how they'll tell you something is an apple or a banana when Trump is telling you it's an apple. They'll tell you, no, it's actually a banana. Like, they are so sanctimonious, and yet they're the ones in this case who are defending George Stephanopoulos for doing actually a really shitty thing, which is telling people that they are hearing a fact when what they are hearing is an opinion. And that is just about, as far as I'm concerned, one of the very worst things that an anchor, a host, somebody who is telling you I'm coming straight down the middle. I think that's one of the worst things you can do, because that is exactly why your audience comes to you. They want to trust you. They want to trust that if you're telling them something is a fact, that it actually is a fact. And it's not just your editorializing, but that was pure editorialization on Stephanopoulos' behalf with an assist from the judge and the Washington Post, but it was opinion nonetheless. And that is, I think, one of the biggest sins in journalism, is to tell people that you're just playing it straight and when you're actually opining. And so actually what his peers should be doing is saying, you screwed the rest of us here in a really big way, and we are going to do better because of it. To the extent they talk about this being, quote unquote, chilling, I hope that it does have a chilling effect. I'm saying that even as a journalist, against some of this really, really bad behavior that is misleading people who are desperate for facts. So if you're telling people you're delivering facts, just do it. And to the extent you're not, I do hope it chills that.
We have the ad here. Remember this? That was a great one.
This is an apple. Some people might try to tell you that it's a banana. They might scream banana, banana, banana over and over and over again. They might put banana in all caps. You might even start to believe that this is a banana. But it's not. This is an apple.
Oh my God. Facts first, it reads. CNN.
It's a Zucker classic.
Yeah, personally done at his request, reportedly. So, yeah, I guess that's not how the jury saw it. They saw an apple, and it was George Stephanopoulos who saw a banana. That's really what happened. He saw the banana. He saw the banana being misused in ways the jury did not. And this jury was not on the same page. It's really amazing to watch it all go down and to watch the suffering. Jim Acosta and Brian Stelter not saying, this is a moment to reflect on how to be more careful. And you know what would be a great idea? Bring in a defamation attorney to educate all of us so that we don't make a similar mistake. Instead, it's they bent the knee. The rest of us have to stand stronger. And you know what I think should happen now, especially given that and sort of this reaction across the left-wing media? I think Trump should start writing letters to the people at MSNBC who called him a rapist over and over and over. I mean, now he's got a settlement for $15 million. It's going to his presidential library. And they had to pay attorney's fees, $1 million, and they had to issue an apology and a statement on their reporting admitting that it was false. If I were Trump, I'd be having my lawyer do a LexisNexis search for all the people who said in a factual way, I mean, you could say, I believe he's a rapist, or it's obvious to me he raped her, right? That's all fine. That's opinion. But you cannot say, as Stephanopoulos did, he is a rapist. He raped E. Jean Carroll. That's defamatory. So if I were Trump, I would spread the pain around. For those of us who have been holding our breath for the past several months, we can finally exhale in the wake of this presidential election, right? Work can finally be done on the major issues that this country's facing, and one of the most significant is our national debt. Look, the fact is our nation's broke, and that debt is a house of cards that cannot be quickly dismantled by anyone. So the strategy remains the same when it comes to your investments. You might want to diversify your savings. Virtually all the experts say that's a good idea. This is why I want to tell you about Birch Gold. So many things are out of our control and out of our president's control that it really can be important to have a safe haven for your savings. Birch Gold Group can help you if you would like to convert all or part of an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold, which is like a hedging of the bets. And the best news is it does not cost you 1 cent out of pocket. You just text MK to 989898 and you get your free info kit. And plus right now you will receive a free 1 ounce Silver Eagle for every $5,000 purchased Silver Eagle coin. Protect your savings with Birch Gold. Text MK to 989898 and claim your eligibility for free silver today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.